Hi Shashank, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Unlike Rakshit, I'm good. So yes, we are sad to
Uh,
announce that Rakshit is not feeling well today.
yeah, I did hear he is suffering from dengue. I hope he gets well soon. Definitely missing him.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I'm not missing him. It's better if I could talk with someone who know actual experience and all this stuff. He's
No,
kind of a
yeah.
know-it also.
As much as I can put my inputs, more than happy. But I knew like before starting this, our 1 minute has to be dedicated to Rakshit around it. He's the like soul and
Yes,
core of the podcast. So yeah.
yes. This is our way of saying homage. This is our way of paying homage to him.
Yeah, and take care, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. So now that out of the way, we can start this podcast happily. So
Yes.
this topic is
So,
something which I like very much because I hate meetings. So we are going to talk about the impact of fewer meetings and how this affects the way people work. So,
hmm. I mean,
so I
it's a great topic. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
no, so basically what I wanted to know is that like you have corporate experience and I don't. So it will be easier for the people to understand if someone if it's coming from someone who's been struggling with all these meetings and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure, man. See, it's a great topic. I want to start with the, impact of meetings or fewer meetings or more meetings. So I
Hmm.
cumulatively have experience working as a freelancer, as a consultant, then as a guy working with an agency, with a startup or corporates. And I've seen
Hmm.
different levels of meeting happening, different number of times meeting happening, the barrage of meetings happening, and in some cases no meetings happening. And for
Hmm.
me, when I have shifted myself from an agency to a freelancer or to a corporate, it has been very different, and it has been a cultural shock, actually, to be honest, to see how there are so many meetings or so less meetings that happens across companies and industries. But like for instance, I would like to start, when you're working as a consultant, you're hardly there are any meetings, right? And you focus on
Hmm.
productivity there more because your time goes more on implementation and strategy making rather than on just, setting up meetings and knowing things. Meeting is an integral part, but I think once or twice a cadence or a meeting is more than enough when you're working alone. To cut
Hmm.
to when I come in an agency where, so when I started working, agency wasn't a fad like it is right now. Like there are so many
Hmm.
agencies everywhere, right? So, and back then
Even I run
agencies
an
were new.
agency.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. So back then agencies were new. There were new set of people that were running the agencies. People did not had much idea or impact what an agency can make. So, all rookies and amateurs doing meetings, whatever you see in movies, whatever you hear about,
Hmm.
oh, meetings looks a fancy thing. You guys, bunch of guys get up and go into a room. I don't know
Hmm.
how much of productivity happens, but yeah, I mean, meetings do happen in an agency, but I feel
Hmm.
the quality of meetings that happen in an agency is very qualitative.
Hmm.
It is exactly based on, producing quality, producing the results, and setting up all the strategies. That's what
Hmm.
I feel about agencies, at least, because the kind of workload and that things that you have on yourself to deliver and implement. So for that, there are crips meeting happen, and then and it is done. Mostly it is done. Whereas
Hmm.
I have seen startups, especially, there are a lot of meetings that happens in startups. Like, when I transitioned from a consultant to working in a startup company, even the
Hmm.
first thing I said to one of my colleague was like, how many meetings happen here, man? Like literally, like you don't have time to work or think. It's just meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. And this thing just magnified in, especially in your COVID times. And
Hmm.
COVID was in like in office, you still have time to, travel, to, have a sutta break, to have a chai, to have a lunch, right? These kind of
Hmm.
things. COVID was just another level. It was just meetings after meetings after meetings, which like I feel was little bizarre. So yeah, that's the kind of different structure I've seen in terms of a number of meetings that I've seen in different organizations.
Hmm.
clearly not a big fan of meetings, if you personally ask me. Uh,
Hmm.
like that productivity doesn't come out. It's more
Hmm.
like I said, it's more looks like a fad. Uh, Especially in startups, if I particularly take an example where I'm currently in one of the startups, leading startups I'm working with, where there
Hmm.
is no hierarchy. Like startup, there are hierarchies, but end of the day, there is no, like, it's a little delusionally setup of hierarchies. So I feel like at the top leadership, there should be one meeting, and then there shouldn't be, honestly. After that, it should be just a weekly cadence or something. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, for me, like, proper waste of time, having more
Hmm.
number of meetings which are not very productive. Less the number of meetings, better it is. I feel like, we should start structuring our meetings as well, in terms of number of
Hmm.
meetings happening, or what's the topic we are going to discuss. If there is no agenda, please cancel the meeting. There is no point coming and just sitting and discussing the last time what we did and what we not did. So
Hmm.
yeah, little structure to our meetings, little agenda to our meetings, and yeah, hopefully we can be better productive with that.
Yeah, so yeah, basically, I understand what you're saying. Even when we have meetings for Brew Your Market, we end up making fun of Rakshit all day long. We don't do anything in the meetings, so I can
Okay.
understand what you're trying to say. So that is one thing.
No,
So yeah, so
no, I actually
I'm
remember a quote from Wasim Akram. So he
huh,
was a former coach of Kolkata Knight Riders. And
hmm,
during that time, Kolkata were winning a lot of matches. And he said,
hmm,
meetings happen only when things are not going well. When things are
hmm,
going well, there are no meetings.
yeah,
So I so, vouch and plus one on that, that,
hmm,
when that's actually when you need meetings, when things are not going well. Apart from that,
yes.
if
Don't fix it unless when it's broken.
yeah, I mean, just don't fix your calendars, yeah, unnecessary. Just don't block your calendar just for the heck of it. So yeah.
Hmm. So yeah, so actually, like following up on your like saying that meetings doesn't work. So I actually found a study that that happened, between 76 companies over a span of 14 months, and they came out with an interesting number actually. Like when 80% of the meetings are reduced, the impact of the company is so huge that like basically 63 points of stress level of people have decreased. So that is basically one thing. Even though productivity takes a hit, but in this case it doesn't. Even though productivity takes a hit, if the stress level is coming down, I think it's easier for people to pick it back up whenever that is necessary. What do you think?
Wow. Wow. I so agree on this one. I think whatever I said in last 5 minutes, you just summed it up. Uh,
Yeah.
Productivity definitely takes a toll, man. Definitely, like, without a shadow. Like, when you come out of a meeting, there's so many things that are discussed, like a productive meeting. And then, in your back of your mind, you're already thinking, okay, this is how I'll do, this is how I'll do, this is how I connect to different agencies, different teams.
Mm,
You have to report to your manager, explaining him what happened in the meeting, or then you have to go to your teammates,
mm,
explain them how things need to be strategic. And then when you are in the middle of this process, suddenly there is another meeting, right? And then another meeting and another meeting, and then you're like, how are you going to streamline and prioritize what you want to do? So
mm,
I mean, so again, it all boils down to what the company is also, have in line or have in pipe for what they
mm,
want to achieve in. Unless until the company also has a clear goal of where they want to go, and instead of, you read a books and then you come up with something like, okay, let's do this thing, or you hear from some influencer or some speakers or some of your investors, okay, let's do this. So suddenly there will be 10 things that will come out. So you are not prioritizing what you want to do. So if you don't
mm,
prioritize what you want to do, then this shit will happen. This meetings will keep on happening back to back, back to back. And then suddenly you will realize, after some time, you are used to so many meetings. Now you keep meetings for the heck of it. So that's also one part. Like, it has happened here. You have no idea. Like, especially after COVID, we were so much, the we were so much about just doing meeting. Even when we started our office, like, in initial hybrid model, we just Jumma
mm,
used to keep on doing meetings, like, because we had started getting that habit. Like, I used to come and like, come on guys, let's go for a meeting, like, suddenly without the, like. And then I started, and now, cut to date, I don't do one single meeting now. Trust me, I don't do one single meeting. It's, if I have a
mm,
work, unless and until I have to streamline something, I want something out of the team, not in terms of work. I feel that is kind of taken care. I'm very thankful with the kind of team I have. Like everyone is self-motivated and they know what they want to do. So it's pretty
mm,
easy to streamline them. But unless and until I want them to, let's be working around the other things around work, like, update themselves about what startup world is, or, how to see numbers. If it's a uniform thing that I want them to know and learn and improve themselves in the career trajectory, that's only when I do the meetings. Work wise, I, trust me, don't do any meetings like now, like unnecessary. I don't want to create that havoc, like, oh, let's do a meeting and let's, discuss something, let's come out of it. That thing personally I have like kind of reduced, or in fact it is next to nothing right now in terms of, if you ask me.
yeah, I mean, this is really good. Like when you are in a position where you can influence certain things like this, it's obviously like it's good that you're doing this. So
Right,
yeah,
right, right.
as you said, like I'm also a very big fan of this deep work kind of concept. Like I actually understood this concept when I read a book called this Deep Work by Carl Newport. So what he basically says was that like every day you block time for 4 to 5 hours, you don't have any distraction, you leave your phone away, you just have a to-do list
Mhm.
of things of what you need to do, you just sit
Correct.
and do those stuff. So that kind of thing. So that is
Mm.
also one thing. So like for the past 10 minutes we've been talking about why meetings doesn't work. So I think it's time we switch to things that work. Like what would you suggest like as a better alternative for having constant meetings?
See, alternative, there is no alternative on. See, end of the day, you do need meetings, right? To set up the momentum,
Yes.
to know
Hmm.
what the strategy is, to
Hmm.
align everyone. That's it, yeah. Apart from that, then you need to believe in the team that they will come and
Hmm.
deliver. You don't need to constantly
Yeah.
check them how much it has done, 10% and 20% and 30% and next week, okay, now 40. That's kind of little irritating for the employees as well, because understand, like,
Yeah.
I'm in a constant pressure of delivering something within a specific set of time. And when you do
Hmm.
constant meetings, and there might be days that I haven't, progressed in terms of, delivering right now, but I have done some back research which might not be,
Hmm.
great for you to see in
Hmm.
that way. But I have done
Yeah.
some kind of research will eventually, cumulatively help me in covering that percentage of work done. So for an
Hmm.
employee also, it's kind of irritating when, they see that constant
Hmm.
meetings happening, and then the employee doesn't have anything to speak up, and then your manager says, okay, how much is done? And then you're like, Arey, yesterday only it happened, man. Let's, like, I don't have enough things to say right now. So that kind of, if you
Uh,
space and independence you give it to the employees, they also grow, they also prosper. Just trust your employees that they will finish the task. Uh, that's why I
hmm.
said meetings should only happen to set the momentum, and after that,
Hmm.
it's only when your employees are asking, okay, let's sit and let's, Shashank, I need your help. Let's, jam in a room. Let's come up with ideas. Let's
Hmm.
discuss, let's brainstorm. That's when I think you need a meeting, after the momentum has been set. And after that, I don't honestly feel like, just trust your employees in delivering it.
Hmm. So basically, to sum up whatever you said, like set the momentum with the meeting, set the course with the meeting, and then leave employees on your own. And maybe if you want to follow up, just send them in text or something. So
Right, right,
basically, that's
right.
that's the
And
stuff. Yeah.
you're just sitting right across the bay, or they're sitting right next to you. You can just ask them, man, what's the progress and what's it going on? How's it? You don't need to go to a, room, block it, and, do these kind of, it takes energy here, honestly. I don't know, you have
Yeah.
picked up a topic which is like so deep rooted, and suddenly I'm feeling like I'm all coming out with that
Yeah,
unstructured.
I feel like this is more of a rant and everything. Yeah. Yeah, I
Right.
mean, this is what people love also. Like half of the
Hmm.
time when me and Rakshit end up, we start about bitching things, and this is exactly keeping up with the tradition. So yeah,
Right.
hopefully marketing is meant for keeping up with traditions and like bitching on other people and other stuff. So I think we've covered that pretty well. So to sign off, basically we are telling that if someone is listening, please make sure you reduce the number of meetings and let your employees work as they prefer and as they like, instead of constantly bugging them. So I think that's it for today, and I'm kind of happy that I didn't have to do this with Rakshit, even though he's sick.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Hopefully he gets
yeah,
well soon. But with this, I just want to end. Like, trust me, over meetings are a fad. Your
yeah,
productivity doesn't come out. It will have impact on your working, on your delivery. If your company is doing unnecessary meetings where there are a lot of objectives you want to achieve, please look for another company. Like, your productivity, your learning will not come out if you have so many meetings which, doesn't
Hmm.
relate. And for the heck of it, because deep inside,
Hmm.
as an individual, how much you are contributing, how much you are working. There are people,
Hmm.
they're not working, but they kind of show, yeah, man, lot of work, bro. Like, shit. And
Hmm.
they would have just done, half a work, or I don't know, like just work just half an hour, 1 hour a day. And they're like, lot of work, man. So, end of the day how much you're working, how much you're not, but more meeting doesn't certainly helps. So yeah, try to cut and
Yes.
reduce the number of hours there.
Yes. Listen to Pranay, and so try to get your life back together and your work life back
just
together. So
just
basically,
just
that's it.
coming out with my experience, that's it.
Yes, and your experience is worth listening to. So unlike Rakshit, your experience is worth listening to. So yep.
Thanks,
So
man.
with that, we'll wind up. So see you
All
guys
right,
next week. This
sure.
is Hopefully Marketing. This is Shashank and Pranay. See you soon. Bye bye.
See you, man. See you soon. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye.